Greetings. Today we're going to read Act 5. You can see the essential question for Act 5. What unexpected events, misunderstandings, and poor timing bring the play to a tragic end?
Act 5, Scene 1, a street in Mantua.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think. And breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Oh, me! How sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well. Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it from my office, sir. Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight. I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure. Hush, you are deceived. Leave me, do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar? No, my good lord. No matter. Get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see from these. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples. Meager were his looks. Sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins of ill-shaped fishes, and about his shelves a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders, and musty seeds. Remnants of packthread and old cakes of roses were thinly scattered to make up a show. Noting this penury, to myself I said, and if a man did need of poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun my need, and this same needy man must sell me. As I remember, this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. But ho! Apothecary!
You cough so loud.
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's wound.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need and oppression starveth in thine eyes, contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich, and be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty, and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off. And if you have the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There's thy gold. Worse poison to men's souls, doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayst not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy food, and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial and not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, but there must I use thee.
Scene 2. Friar Lawrence's cell in Verona.
Holy Franciscan Friar, brother, Pope.
This same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be written, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me here in this city, visiting the sick and finding him. The searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bare my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again. Nor get a messenger to bring it thee, so fearful were they of infection.
Unhappy fortune. By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go ahead, get me an iron crow, and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Now must I to the monument alone. Within this 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo had had no notice of these accidents, but I will write again to Mantua, and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corse closed in a dead man's tomb.
Scene 3. The cemetery that contains the Capulets' tomb.
Give me thy torch, boy. Hence, and stand aloof. Yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Under yon yew tree lay thee all along, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, being loose, unfirm, with digging up of graves, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee, go.
I'm almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard. Yet I will adventure.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe, thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will dew, or wanting that, with tears distilled by moans. The obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep. The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What, with a torch? Muffle me night a while.
Give me that magic and raging iron. Oh, take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life, I charge thee. But ere thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence, be gone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I farther shall intend to do, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous. And farewell, good fellow.
All this same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
This is that banished haughty Montague, that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey, and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone. Let them affright me. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, begone! By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone. Live, and hereafter say a madman's mercy, bid thee run away.
I do defy thy conjuration, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Without provoke me, and have at thee, boy.
Oh, Lord, they fight! I will not call them on!
Oh! I am slain! If thou be merciful, open the tomb, lay me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris? What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? But did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet, to think it was so? Give me thy hand. One writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. The grave? Oh no, a lantern, slaughtered youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there by a dead man interred. How oft, when men are at the point of death, have they been married, which their keepers call a lightning before death? Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that had sucked the honey of thy breath, hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Oh, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean of horrid monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-weary flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss.